We hired Harbour Lights today to showcase the hard work that the animators have done throughout the year. What I'm most looking forward to will probably be the award ceremony at the end. It's just lovely to see other people's perspectives of the work that's been produced today.
I won an award for audience participation, and it seems that a lot of people liked my animation and its style, which I'm very happy about. My animation is to do with thalassophobia, which is a fear of the deep sea ocean. And I feel like that's something a lot of audiences can relate to, because everyone is quite afraid of deep waters and what could lurk below. Honestly, it was pretty overwhelming. I mean, spending 6 months putting an animation together and then finally getting to see everyone watch it in person, it's really daunting, honestly, but it warms my heart to know that everyone's there to support you as well, and I want to cherish those moments.
I won the Best Animation that was decided by ex-alumni of Solent University. I'm very pleased to have earned it. My film is about a dog and a fox that meet by the river and they fall in love. Throughout my course, we've been prepared quite a bit to advance in our careers afterwards. We've had plenty of marketing courses to think about what we want to do next and how we want to proceed.
My highlight has definitely been the students and my lecturers as well. They've helped me all the way through. I'm very grateful for each and every one of them.
I've met some of my best friends through Solent. I am so happy to see not only mine but my fellow course mates' work up on the big screen, and it's just the perfect way to wrap up this year.